Okay, we will be seeing about multi-agent orchestration with Copilot Studio and AI Foundry today, where we will be covering about how does the multi-agent orchestration work inside the Copilot Studio, and if at all we are developing some models inside the AI Foundry, then how do we deploy the same inside the AI Found inside the Copilot Studio is something that we would be covering for today's session. So, before we get started, let me give a brief intro about myself. I am CR Bhargavi and I'm in Microsoft MVP and Azure Community Champion. And this is my LinkedIn QR code. You can get in touch with me post the session if you have any doubts, and I would be happy to help you out. Okay. The agenda for today's session would be like we will be touch basing on what is agent and how does the agent work and how do we deploy the multi agent inside the Copilot Studio is something that which we will be seeing for today's session. And due to lack of time, we might have to rush up since this is a broader concept and we might have to cover it within 30 minutes. So we'll be rushing up at few parts and we'll be taking up the demo and will make you understand on what needs to be done at where is something that which we will be seeing. So probably let me get started with the basics of what is agent. So agent is like whenever we want to do something to be of an autonomous way, like it has the capabilities of LLM. Also, it has the instruction being added to it, and the instruction can be in the format of like either user messages or the agent messages or the system events, and it also has the tools being assigned to it, such that it knows where and when it has to look at with the help of like retrieval it would be retrieving it, and actions are like what action it has to perform and what memory it has to look with is all something that the tool will have, and with all these combination together it would be giving you out the response as such. So the major difference between LLM and agent is like LLM is kind of like just can think alone, but it can think, act, and do by itself is something that the agent will be capable of. So the agent can be of into different ways, like uh, a low code, no code agent, which is something that which we will be seeing in Copilot Studio, and then we will also be having inside the low code, no code agent as well. We have single agent, multi agent, and inside the single agent, it could be of like one agent will be performing all the tasks from end to end. And if it's a multi agent, then we might split into different one. Say in case like we have a we have a marketing campaign that needs to be done, so for which we do have as in shown over here, we will be having service agent, retrieval agent, analytics agent, coding agent. So there will be of different things and each of it will have different tools, different knowledge, and different memory being associated with it, and will be acting separately on by itself, and from there it would be giving back the result on the same. So that's something that the multi-agent will be acting on, and with that it would be giving us the response on the format of what it has to work, and there would be a coordinator agent which would be giving us the result on the same. So this is how the overall picture of multi-agent system works, and maybe probably will go in deep of about multi-agent multi-agent from now on. First, we will. try to understand what are the different ways that what we can build the agent. Like uh, we do have different ways, and one such way where we can just have the application to be developed in the format of software is like the software as a service, which is the Copilot Studio, wherein it's kind of like a low code no code tool, and we will be having the ways of like just drag and drop of the agent, and from there we can get in touch with it, and we can go ahead and use it. And we can also connect the AI Foundry one, that what we had did on the model which has been created inside the AI Foundry can be used inside the Copilot Studio as well, and vice versa. Like you can you can have a mix and match of each of these things being done together. And maybe we'll come back to this part if we find time for it. We'll go for about like single agent architecture and multi agent architecture. So we want to understand how do we create the single agent architecture in Copilot Studio, right? So the Copilot Studio will have a agent being created by itself. Whatever you are creating over there will be an agent. And whenever you are trying to create something inside it, then the uh, that becomes the child of the agent which is being created. And that's something like the multi agent. Now let's understand about single agent architecture first. Single agent is like when the same agent can do autonomously handle all the stages of whatever it has to do, then that becomes single agent architecture, and that's easy to design. Like end to end, only one will be there, and you will have to make it work such a way that it will be flowing on a um, it will be like flowing in a sequential way is something that which will happen. And the limitations in it, which is like you will not be able to have the role specific one being added, and you also have a bottleneck over the complex task. Whenever the complex task comes over there, then you do face the difficulty of handling it. And single agent architecture will be of this format, like you will be having an LLM, and you can have multiple tools being associated, and then you will be having in the output. But the tools that are being added and the LLM which are being added over here, right? So you will be having ways of you will be having the ways of connecting it to a uh, different tool, so it might consume time. And that's why we go with the I mean, that's the major disadvantage that what we have as of the single agent. Like the collaboration will not be that easy when it comes for different tools. And we do have the adaptability problem as well being handled. So it becomes really difficult when the single agent has to handle all the one from right from the start to the end. And so we have the multi-agent system being added, which is like will be having the coordination, and then will also be having the scalability, resilience, and they have the division of the labor as well. Like who wants to do what is something that the multi-agent will be deciding on, and from there it would be helping us to get the task being done so easily, such that all the one will be working in parallel, or it would be done on a sequential way, but the same kind of stress will not be there for the one single agent that what it has to do. So that's something that which happens. And there are communication which is happening between the agent, like the communication. can be in the form of message, or can be in the form of like memory, and can be in the form of like API, and that could be of anything. So the message will get passed from one agent to the other, and from there it would be sharing the different things between each other, and they will start working on the same. So that's something that which happens between the agent which are being there. And the multi-agent architecture works in different way. Like it has the core concept of agent role, which is like who is the planner and what is the retriever, executor, and others. And there will be like inter-agent communication, which is like whenever you want to do the agent communicate between each other, then that becomes the inter-agent communication. So what kind of the task that what it want to perform on, and how does it want to break, and how does it want to make the goal being def- dependent is all something that it will be having. And this comes like this with the architecture part. So input, and there will be a supervisor, and that supervisor will be having different agents being associated with it, and each will be having tools being added, and from that tools it it will give the result back to the supervisor, and then we will be getting the output from there. So this is the same way which happens inside the Copilot Studio, and this is the same way which happens inside the Azure AI agent service as well, wherein inside the AI agent service, which is like you will be having enough number of model, and from that you can deploy a model, and with that model you can go ahead and choose the different ways, and from there you can deploy it, and you can come back and use the same way. And this multi agent can be planned in a way such that you will be having this to be in the format like the group chat. Mostly Copilot Studio supports in a way of like the group chat, which is like you will be having the support chatbot, right? So the agent will be working together as in like a support, as in like a chat group. So it will be in that format, and the agent will be having different ways of communication, and it will be giving you back the result. And there are orchestration which are possible apart from that, which is like reflection, selector, swarm, and other things. So a reflection is like when one agent is kind of like reviewing on other agent, then that becomes the reflection. Selector is like when you want to pick the best response from the multiple agent, then that becomes swarm. And when I mean that becomes selector. Swarm is like when all the agents want to perform the task on a simultaneous way, then that becomes the swarm. So it could be of a different ways of orchestration that what it can happen. And components of AI Foundry, as I said, we will come back if we find time. Maybe let me stop over here and let me go back to the Copilot Studio one, and let me show you how does it work, so that we will get to know an understanding of it. Okay. So whenever we want to log in inside the Copilot Studio, right? So the first thing that what we would do is we will be logging in inside the copilotstudio.microsoft.com, uh, and what we would be doing is we will be having the ways of creating agent and workflow over here. And for this demo, we will be using the agent, and we will be giving some kind of like some kind of like way where it will be having support um, system support service chatbot. So, what it would do is like whenever you hit on the go, it will create the agent for ourselves, and from that, it would be giving us the result on the same. Like you will be having the different, I mean, the first agent is now created, which is like the support service chatbot, and you can have your model being added, which is like you have different models which are being available and you can go ahead and choose it, or else if not, you want to deploy the same inside your Azure Foundry and you want to consume it over here, then that's possible too. So for now, the default ones are these ones, like the 4.1, and then you have GPT-5, and then GPT-5 Auto. So these are the ones which are being there. Now, what instruction? I mean, we haven't gave it an instruction, but with the help of like support service chatbot, it understood like what are the different examples and what are the follow up that what needs to be done as well, and if at all there needs to be added some kind of like knowledge, then you will be adding it. And tools, similarly, like tools and knowledge differences, like tools you will be having a way of giving it like what it has to look with. And in, I mean, tools is something like when you want to connect different way of agent flow, or I mean, even an MCP can be connected, and from that MCP you can do it by yourself, and with that it will be giving you back the result as well. So that falls under tools. So now inside this agent we have this agent, right? And you want to create an another agent. Now, when you click on the agent, then you do have the way of creating new agent, right? So when you click on that particular new agent, then that becomes something like the agent, uh, I mean, a child agent is now being created, and you can have the name being added, and the description is something that which you should be giving on, like uh, will connect the chat support person and get the issue resolved, kind of. So I am using it for that. And whenever we are creating some kind of like instruction, so you will be giving a separate instruction being added for this as well, and it has a knowledge being added by itself, and then it has the tools by itself, like the parent had, it has a separate one for itself as well. So it will be having those ones, and then inputs completion is like whenever it had completed, what it has to return with is something that which will be coming over here. So once you are done with everything, right? So you will be giving on the save, and once you save it, now you can see inside the agent like the child agent has been now created, and you can have multiple agents being created, and you can enable it or disable it whenever you wanted to have it. So what all things that what you can do over here, like I'm just giving in the knowledge to be of like microsoft.learn.com alone over here, such that we will be adding in the learn.microsoft.com. And one notable point why it was throwing us error was like we can accept it only two level down. And what do we mean by two level down is like after the root we can have only one level down. So it will accept until here, and whichever it is available after that, it will get it trained by itself. Now we are adding in as part of the child agent. So we added this to the child agent, and now we wanted to get it connected to the parent agent, and from there we want to go ahead and use it. So since we have 5 more minutes as well to be covered, maybe let me tell you how do we add the model which can be added as part of the one that what we have in the uh, sorry, as we can, I mean, inside the Azure, or when you want to add something to be in format of like MCP connector, right? So you will be coming over here and you can have the connector being established, and it could be of GitHub server, or it could be of just the Microsoft Learn. I mean, you do have the Learn connector as as the MCP as such. Now we added it as part of the knowledge, but you do have the Learn server being available for you as part of the MCP as such, and you can go ahead and use it. Like you do have the MCP of Microsoft Learn Docs MCP server, right? So you can go ahead and use it. Now, whenever you want to connect your model with different one, then what you can do is like you can have the model being available like such that you will be having the model being published inside your Azure portal in a regular way, and then you can come over here and connect it. And when you connect that over here, then it gets in added, and from there you can go ahead and use it. So for which you will be having the connections being established, and from that you can be having the um, full kind of like similar, I mean, the model which has been available for you can be added over here. And if at all you want to add multi agent, like whenever you want to create some foundry agent, and you do have the agent which has been already created inside the foundry, and you want to use it over here, then you can come over here and you can give the name, and you will be having the agent ID, right? So you will be giving all those ones, and then you can get it connected. And now whenever you want to connect it, you will be having the connection being established first, and with that connection it will be working. So we want to make sure that it gets it connected and you can use the same. Now we will be testing it on how does it work. So I'm just giving it as I have laptop issue, and I'm unable to start as well. So what it would do, did you observe over here, like it started searching the knowledge sources over here. So where does it search? It searches from the way of learn.microsoft.com, and the ones which are being given over here as references are also from the one that what we have as part of the learn.microsoft.com. How does it happen? It is because it tries to have it from the child being connected, and from there it is trying to give us the response on the same. So whenever you assign it a particular task, then that will be kind of like having the whole sort of the whole sort of the one that what it want to trigger on, and it will be giving us the response on the same. Like based on the description, it would get triggered and it will complete the entire process, and it would be giving you back the response on the same. Now, with this, I hope you had an understanding about like what is the what are the different ways which can be used for creating the Copilot Studio and with the multi-agent. And
Hello.
Yes, Smita, I think her audio has stopped.
Yes, yes, yes. But thank you, Bhargavi, that you have covered a lot in 30
is it
minutes for the
okay now?
multi-agent. Ah, yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bhargavi. You have covered a
Thank you
lot
so
in
much,
30
Smita.
minutes for the multi-agent orchestration in Copilot Studio. Yeah. So we have pasted Bhargavi's LinkedIn details over here. So if you have any queries, please get in touch with Bhargavi. Yeah, thank you so much. So let me stop the recording and I will just invite our next speaker.
Thank you so much, Smita. And